The two biggest goals that I had was one, surpass a certain dollar amount every month in my business, which I did by February. And number two, the biggest one that I still can't stop smiling about is that I actually surpassed my income of my full-time job with just my calligraphy business. It makes me smile because I'm so proud of myself, and I really, truly could not have done it if it wasn't for me joining the Craft Academy at the time that I did.
What if I told you that in 5 months, you could have the calligraphy business of your dreams? That's right. I'm actually sitting down with one of our TCA members, Megan, who has actually tried to build her calligraphy business for 5 years pretty unsuccessfully. And in just 5 months of working together, Megan has already built the business of her dreams, and this is just the beginning. Hi, I'm Rosie. I'm the calligrapher behind Wandercrafter. I'm also the creator of the Craft Academy, where I have helped over 100 calligraphers build, scale, and automate their calligraphy businesses based on their unique story and skill set. Ever since I started my business in 2017, I have made countless mistakes and wasted so much time and energy and money. After transforming my business from frustrated into flourishing, I knew that my mission was to help calligraphy entrepreneurs work with their dream brands and accelerate their path to success. So make sure you keep watching, and if you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified every single time I post a new video about calligraphy business tips.
So hi everybody, my name is Megan. I am the owner and operator behind the Lefty Writer. Yes, I'm a lefty. I'm a lefty calligrapher, engraver, instructor of calligraphy classes, and on-site artist. I do calligraphy, engraving, foiling for personalization. My newest venture is going to be bottle painting, all for luxury brands, different clients, retail stores, for holidays, for conventions, corporations. I mean, the list of live events goes on and on. But I got started with my business way back in 2017, and it was just because I love the look of calligraphy. So I taught myself as a lefty. And fast forwarding to now, it's really, like you said, Rosie, it's really mind-blowing because I joined TCA in December of 2022. We're in June of 2023. And the one goal that I set for myself from the very first month of me creating my business, I reached it in the first 5 months of me being in TCA. Really and truly, while I'm balancing my full-time job and doing my business is kind of winning more and more and more of my heart, right? And that's kind of what's leading me down this path of really niching down, focusing on my business, focusing on how I can improve my skills and what I can offer to my ideal clients. That's really the road that I'm on right now. And it's a good one. It's a really, really good one so far. So
oh my gosh,
that's my story amazing. Of how I got here. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to dive into that even more because I think our viewers need to know your story. What did your business look like prior to even joining the Craft Academy? When did you start your business, by the way?
It was 2017 that I started my business officially. Okay. And then from 2017 to 2022, December, it was fun. It was almost more of like a hobby, which I know is one of your like points, like, hey, is your business just a hobby or is it a business? And it really was. Like, I can take full like admission of that it was a hobby, and it was a very expensive hobby for a long time. I did do a couple of live events here and there. Maybe for the whole year of 2022, I did like 4 or 5 live events. It was getting really stagnant. I mean, the first time that I sat with you on a call for the Craft Academy to the last time I sat with you for a call for the Craft Academy, my business moved an inch. Barely. And that's barely. Stagnant, not a lot of profit, not a lot of work was coming my way. And it was really like, okay, I'm kind of just doing this. Like, it's just there, kind of coming alongside me as I live my life every day. And that was before TCA. After TCA, again, December of 2022, the two biggest goals that I had was one, surpass a certain dollar amount every month in my business, which I did by February. And number two, the biggest one that I still can't stop smiling about is that I actually surpassed my income of my full-time job with just my calligraphy business. That's just like, I might look like I have a hanger in my mouth because it makes me smile because I'm so proud of myself. And I really, truly could not have done it if it wasn't for me joining the Craft Academy at the time that I did. Absolutely, hands down, this is the reason why.
Oh my gosh, my heart is so full right now. Like we could just start crying, but we won't. We'll keep it together for this live.
Yes, please.
I know. Once I start crying, I can't stop. So like we're not gonna head there.
And yeah, I'm the same way. It'll just be
okay.
like,
Yeah, this is just gonna turn
blubber.
into like a ball fest. Oh my gosh. Megan, that means so much to me. I still remember because we talked in like January of 2022 in the very beginning of the year. We kind of talked about it. You weren't quite ready yet. And then we talked again at the end of the year, which was when you joined. And it's so fascinating to hear that like, you know, sometimes you have to try it out before you can see where your truest potential will lie. And, you know, I think you still did a great job because you still learned a lot of lessons during that year. But what makes me wonder is like, how much faster could you have grown in that year had you joined on our first call?
Honestly, I think about that so much because I remember having my notes from our January 2022 call. And then you also had them in our December 2022 call. We were talking about, you know, my goals then in January. Did I achieve any goals in December? And it was like, whoa, like nothing happened. And I was just like kicking myself, like, why didn't I do this in January? Like, what was the reason? And it was because I thought I could really just do it on my own. I thought, no, I can figure it out, like kind of putting more responsibility and to-dos on my shoulders, when honestly, the answer just lied in what you offer. I don't get paid to say this, guys.
Yeah, I'm not paid.
This is
unfiltered
yeah
results and opinions. So please, you know, we encourage honesty, especially in all of our Craft Academy coaching calls. We really make sure that we are authentic to ourselves and to each other. So let me ask you then, you know, having, you know, figured out everything for the past 3-4 years on your own, and then the 6 months that you've been in the Craft Academy, what do you feel like was the biggest driver in shifting your business?
Oh my gosh. I want to say half and half. There are two primary things. The first one is definitely the educational content that you provide in the Craft Academy. I love a good lesson. I love learning, and the way that your course is set up is just like flawless. I mean, anybody who is a lover of education is gonna love it. Anybody who is a calligrapher, an artist, someone who wants to work on this craft that they already have and make it bigger and scale it and reach their true potential, reach their ideal clients, that's what you offer. And you offer it in such a way that it's things we wouldn't really think of on our own unless we sit for days and weeks and months and really try to think about it, which again, I tried to do and I just didn't do it. But everything that you offer, all the resources, all the knowledge, it's like priceless. So that's like the one half of it. And the other half is, I have to say, the community, because the thing I love probably the most is our 2 weekly coaching calls every week. I mean, we have, how many people do we have? Over 100?
Like 147 people now.
147 people who are individual artists, makers, creatives, educational resources in themselves. And we have this group, and you brought us all together, and we learn from each other. We share with each other. We really do practice and not just preach community over competition. And I think I even shared in my stories today something like that, because it is a community and we all really do want to help each other, and we want to grow with each other and want to see the other person in the group succeed. And it plays so well in this group. And I feel like that's my favorite part about TCA is the coaching calls and getting to talk to everybody and meet new people who I probably wouldn't have met or even got to speak to. Like Tammy, she's all the way in Cali, like.
I know we have connections all over the world today. We've got people in Germany, UK, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, of course, and then all across the United States. So it's been an ever-growing community, and I swear we just get stronger and stronger every day, even though we have more people joining every day. Every time we go to visit someone, like if someone were to visit California from New York, like we tried our best to like have a coffee date or something like that, and you know, be able to connect with people all around the world, which is so unique for a community like this.
Yeah, I can't think of another one that is like this group. And it's like the bond, it's there, right? Like we all know the steps that we had to take in order to get to this spot. And I feel like it brings us closer because we did that. And we kind of had these routes that all took us these crazy paths before coming here into TCA. And it just, I don't know, it just makes everything better.
I have also found, especially when I was doing everything in the beginning alone, kind of making those mistakes by myself, I have found that like once you start having a community or even just a handful of calligrapher friends in your court, supporting you, giving advice, being your soundboard, that's the part that makes the biggest difference, because you can have all the educational content in the world, but if you are by yourself spiraling about why you're slow for a certain month, or kind of trying to brainstorm on a workshop but not reaching any headway, and then all of a sudden you convince yourself not to do it, that's when the community really comes in and helps to make sure that you reach those goals and create that for yourself. So having the accountability in addition to the educational content.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. And off the top of my head, I can think of the moments where we've had coaching calls and someone has been saying something along those lines of like maybe doubting themselves, or like it's a slow time right now, it sucks. The like wave of support and encouragement and reasoning, and it's just, you're not just the only voice in your head. You have the support and the backup and just the knowledge and love of everybody else who's kind of just there for you. You know, it's that community.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. And you're a huge part of it. You run our Power Hours. You've been doing this for a couple of months now, and you also help to share your knowledge and stuff. So like your generosity is overwhelming as well. And you're a huge part of that community. So we're ever grateful for you.
Thank you.
So let's get into some of the more tactical advice. In all of our interviews, we like to, provide tactical information for anyone who is not in the Craft Academy or has any other program to kind of pull from. So that way you're still learning from us and benefiting from us, even if you're not part of the program, which we still encourage that you do. Tell us, what is your biggest tactical advice for someone who is just starting out in their business?
The number one thing I think is to be confident and strong in pricing your worth and your work. This is probably the one thing that even to this day, literally, I still need that support and I still need that backup. And I've been doing this since 2017. For somebody, especially somebody who is just starting out as a brand new calligrapher or a brand new artist or any kind of creative, trust that you have your confidence, you know what you are providing to your clients, and for a project, whatever it is that you're working on, please always price accordingly. And just having that confidence to take that step and ensure like, okay, this is the tag that I'm putting on this piece of work. It's just going to benefit you. And you're also helping the community by maintaining that industry standard. It's like the biggest thing I think that I get is the question on, how much is this? How do I price this? Is this too low? And I feel like as a beginner calligrapher or beginner artist, and I'm speaking too, again, from experience, we feel like, oh, well, we just made this, like, it took me an hour to do this, so I shouldn't charge a lot for it, when it's the total opposite. And it's like you are spending your time, your resources, and your knowledge to create something that is unique. Price it accordingly and be confident in that price. On top of that, the cherry that goes to that is making sure that you have your ideal client. And an ideal client is a client that is not going to question you, lowball you. They're going to appreciate you, respect your work, and trust you, and trust that you know what you're doing. A person is not going to walk into the Gucci store and say, I don't think this is worth this much because I saw somebody else sell it for this much. It's not a negotiation. There is an established trust there. So saying yes to the ideal client and then pricing yourself with confidence and accordingly, best information that I can give to a beginner calligrapher or beginner artist.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So much gold stuff in there. All of that was amazing. Let me do a follow-up question for you though. How would you price as a beginner?
That is an excellent question and a very challenging one too, because there are so many different types of avenues that you can go with calligraphy, for example. So, for someone who's doing, let's say, kind of the biggest thing that I used to do as a beginner was wedding envelope addressing. And I know many calligraphers who have started with just that, friends, family, word of mouth. I'm a little embarrassed, but I used to charge like 25 cents or 50 cents, like per envelope. And even then I was terrified of charging that per envelope. That is incredibly low. I'm not going to sit and do the math and break down how many envelopes you have to do to pay yourself a livable hourly wage. But I think a good way to do that is determine an amount that you would like to get paid per hour that is reasonable and fair, and then work backwards from that. And if it's a per item, so let's say like per envelope, right now I charge minimum of $5 per envelope for addressing. Again, years of experience and plenty of price raises over the years. But as a beginner, I don't know, I'd say like not lower than like $3-4 per envelope. And even then, all the work that has to be done aside from doing calligraphy on an actual envelope is all of your time, and it's your resources, whether you're creating a guide for the spacing and you want it to be in the center, like the ink that you use, all the time you spent learning how to do calligraphy. So that all plays a factor. So for envelope calligraphy, let's do a setup fee of, let's say, $50 bucks, and then a per envelope charge no lower than $3 per envelope. I think that's a good start for any beginner calligrapher.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you for taking us through that exercise. Obviously, there's no black and white answer to how to price and how to make sure that you are, hitting your annual goals and things like that. But there is a way to run the math and work backwards from that. And Magen did that perfectly well. Obviously, each pricing is going to change based on the parameters of the job. So there's no black or white answer, but we do have a calculator in the Craft Academy, which you can literally plug that in and it'll spit out a number for you so that you actually know that you're charging with confidence. And even with that calculator, I have found that pricing becomes more of a mindset issue. And whether you're charging 50 cents for an envelope or $5 or $50 for an envelope, you're still going to have the same mental blocks throughout that entire growth process that will continue to come again and again. And we actually call that the pricing muscle in the Craft Academy, really making sure that you're pushing your pricing every single chance that you get so that you don't stay stagnant and that you continue to increase your rate every single year. So yeah. Thank you so much for taking us through that, Magen. That was super helpful.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I was thinking about the pricing calculator at the back of my mind, but I'm so glad that you actually mentioned it because I've used it several times so far.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about physical products, different services,
workshops,
in studio and in workshops as well. So that way there's no matter what is happening in your job, because different things happen all the time, right? That you don't know what you're going to price at. You can just pull up that calculator and figure it out from there. So that way it becomes way less intimidating and much more stable for you. So you're no longer guessing. Okay. And then the next follow-up question that I had for you is, how do you know if they are the right client or your ideal client rather?
So like I said before, your ideal client is going to be one that looks up to you, respects you, appreciates the work that you do. They're going to look at your current portfolio. And when I say portfolio, I mean, it could be an Instagram page of photos of your work. That's your portfolio as a beginner. And they'll see an art and they'll see something that they can't do, and they're willing to pay someone well to do it well for them. I've had to negotiate with clients in the past, and it's not fun. It's very tiring. It's also kind of hurtful because it's almost like you're fighting to prove your worth to a person that is not going to understand it and not going to appreciate it. So it's always best to kind of just not waste that time and energy and put it forward into finding your ideal client and finding the person who is going to say yes to you with no hesitation, if this, then they're going to say yes. They're going to appreciate you, respect you, and they're going to pay whatever you will invoice them. That's the ideal client.
Exactly. I know you've had, in the process of your business, you've had people who were not your ideal client back in 2021, 2022. And I'm sure you still get clients today in 2023 that don't really see that value either. What do you feel like has been your biggest mental change for you to be able to tackle those more difficult clients a lot easier?
Definitely my mindset. I feel like because of the experiences that I've had, because now in these days we have our coaching calls and TCA. So I have like the voices in the back of my head kind of telling me like, ooh, beware of that person. But you start identifying when a person is already kind of, oh, well, how much do you charge for this? Okay, what about this? And when they ask kind of those questions where you know that they're going to lead to, well, if I give you a card, is that going to take 50 cents off your charge kind of thing? And I think it's better to identify or learn how to identify those kind of clients, because those are not the ideal clients. Those are not the clients you want to work with. They're going to give you more of a headache than anything else. So now I have kind of like my email template that I have like ready to copy and paste when I get those inquiries where, they either tell me like, oh, for cheap or affordable, or I have this, I can,
quick,
you know, like,
job.
Yes, I can provide this, or it's just this, it's just a seating chart with 500 names, you know. It's kind of like those buzzwords that you want to look out for. And it's okay to say no. It's okay for you to say, right now, my schedule is full. Right now, I don't have the capacity to take on this job. And you can always refer them to maybe an Etsy shop or somewhere else that they can maybe do it themselves, like a DIY kind of situation. But it's definitely a mindset shift that needs to happen, because prior to me really knowing and looking out for those signs, I would get an inquiry and be like, oh, well, they want to work with me. Oh, okay, let's do it. And I would be already saying yes in my mind without kind of knowing who the client is, or at least hearing what they had to say. And that's kind of what led me down those paths of experiencing my non-ideal clients. It's a learning experience, right? And it's for all of us. We're on this journey of entrepreneurship and of being creatives and artists. And part of it is customer service and dealing with clients, looking out for those kind of keywords and knowing that it's okay to say no. Or no, thank you, and move on to the next one. Put forth effort into searching for your ideal client, sharing with friends, family, your IG calligraphers. I mean, there's so many different people that beginner calligraphers can reach out to and beginner artists can reach out to build their network. And as the network grows, the ideal clients are going to be found within those pieces of networks. And then your ideal client is going to have a whole network of their own friends, family, coworkers who can also be considered your ideal client too. So.
Yeah. And then really just being comfortable with not landing every single client.
Oh, yes.
Right. You don't want to land 100% of your clients. I feel like if you are, then there's something to fix here. You should not be landing every single one. And if you are, it's time for you to raise your rate or start being more picky about who you're actually working with, because they might not be serving the bigger picture of your business and your goals.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
That was awesome tactical information for me. I hope that was super helpful for everyone else who is watching. Let me ask you then, where can people find you if they want to learn more about you or learn from you?
So my Instagram, all social media, my website itself is the Lefty Writer. And I did that purposely so that people won't forget me.
I love it. So I'll drop that down below as well for the replay. I have a couple of closing questions for you as we try to end all of our interviews with. Number one is, what advice would you give to someone who is thinking about investing in themselves?
Oh gosh, you're never going to regret investing in yourself. I mean, plain and simple. It took me a little while to kind of get to that conclusion, because with anything, we have to put in work. We have to put in time, we have to put in resources to make the thing better, to achieve the goal, whatever it is. And I mean, I would say for an artist, for a calligrapher, or someone who wants to break into calligraphy, engraving, artistry, I mean, joining TCA was the best investment that I could do for myself and for my business. It's just really plain and simple, because I could not, and I did not in 2022 get to the place that I wanted to be until I joined TCA. That's the truth. And that's my truth. And I'm sticking to it. And best investment. And like I said, you're not going to regret it. I don't at all.
Yay! And honestly, I'm so happy that you decided to join our group. Love having you in all of our coaching calls. Love having you in the community as well. I think what's awesome about Magen's story is that it's been 6 months of her being active in the Craft Academy, making the necessary changes, and she's already worked with some of her dream brands that she had, only dreamt about. And because the program, the Craft Academy, is a lifetime membership, this is literally just the beginning of her business. Like, she has big goals to quit her full-time job and do calligraphy full-time. And the fact that she's already surpassed how much she's made in her calligraphy business over her full-time job, that speaks volumes already. And that just means that you are on your way very soon to being a full-time calligrapher, and we can't wait to join you. Have you join us? We're like the quitters.
Yeah, it's so crazy, because I remember watching your other interviews like over the past couple of months and hearing people talk about how like they surpassed their full-time job income. And like I said before, that's been a goal of mine since 2017. And I did it in 5 months. In 5 months, I did it. And it's like mind blowing to me. So later, whenever I get to watch this again, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, like I'm watching myself talk about this. Like I achieved this goal and it's just amazing. It's just amazing.
Oh my God. Okay. Not to be dramatic, but like you accomplished what you were trying to accomplish in 5 years, in 5 months.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
When you put it like that, like the time frame is just like, wow. Like,
yeah,
wow.
and I wish we were just making this up. Like it sounds like clickbait to me. But I swear this is the truth. This is Magen's story, you guys.
Yeah. And then something I did kind of want to add in there too. It's like, it's not like you join TCA and everything just falls in your lap. That's not how it works. With anything, you have to invest in yourself and you have to put in the work. It's not like a flip the switch kind of thing. Like you have everything you need here. You need to access it and then put it into play in order to see these kind of results. Because if I had joined in December of 2022 and then kind of just hung out, joined the coaching calls,
right.
And not taking any action or taking any of the steps that you lay out, I wouldn't be here right now. So it's definitely work. But it's so much easier now. And it's just like so far it's been a super smooth 6 months for me. And I just had to like put that out there.
And I think, that's one of the reasons why we do an application process. We don't sign up every single person who applies for the program. We are fairly picky about who we allow into the community just because it is so important for us. And we want to make sure that the people who join us are actually going to benefit from the program. There's no like checkout button on wondercrafter.com. You really have to apply and go through an interview process to make sure that the program is not only going to work for you, but you're actually also going to do work for the program. So it's a two-way street here. And, anyone who gets into the program, I work my best to get to know each person, get to know their businesses, and find the little things in their business that's actually going to set them apart from other people. And we've done that countless times already. And, Magen, you are an attest to that. You're the perfect fit for us. And we're super happy that you're here.
I'm so happy. Like this is the best thing that I could have did for my business and even for my personal life too, because my husband is a secret TCA member. Y'all just saying.
He's a secret, not so secret.
Yeah, he's like peeking over the corner during our coaching calls.
Yeah. I love it. Perfect. So the last question that I have for you is, what would you tell yourself in 2017 when you first started, knowing what you already know now?
Be more confident. Be more confident. Price your worth, your work, your time, your resources. You're putting everything into your business. Be confident and do it right. I know TCA didn't exist in 2017, but investing in something like this would have been amazing in 2017 and could have set all of us apart, sooner, but everything happens for a reason and on the right timing. So I think be confident and be patient.
I love it. Okay. So just to close out the interview, Magen, thank you so much for coming on here. You sharing your knowledge and your experience has been immensely helpful for not only me, but for everyone who's watching on Instagram and YouTube. We'll talk soon. Thanks, everybody. Oh my gosh, I hope you enjoyed watching that video as much as I enjoyed actually talking to Magen. She is such an inspiration and a force in the industry, and this is honestly just the beginning for her. If this interview resonated with you and you want to transform your calligraphy business from frustrated into flourishing as well, all you have to do is go to wondercrafter.com/apply, talk to a real life human being. It's either me or someone on my team. We'd love to help you reach the goals that you want to so you can start living the life that you love. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the alarm, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!